For years, Google Maps has shown North Korea as a big empty blob with just one dot, its capital Pyongyang. Then Tuesday, Google added a sea of new data: highways, shops, subway stations, even gulags. Where did all this information come from? Not from cartographers on the ground, but hundreds of volunteers all over the world. Google even features a live stream of these editors at work, this one adding a trail in Duluth, Minnesota, that one defining a mountain road in Cameroon. Joining us now is one such volunteer, Richard Hintz. He's been doing this for almost 4 years and has added more than 1,000 points of interest. Thank you for joining us, Richard.
You're welcome.
So I assume you've never been to North Korea. How do you map North Korea without being there?
So Google has two different versions of maps. They have the Google Maps that everybody uses to learn how to get from point A to point B. And then they also have a tool called Google Map Maker.
Click the map to begin drawing.
Which we use, and by we I mean globally, people just can delve into it using the tools that in this case Google provides. You can trace over the imagery and define a road. And North Korea has been available for some period of time. It's just that the changes that people have been making haven't been what we call pushed to Google Maps.
Okay. And who are these people? How did you, for instance, get into this?
I had an interest from traveling in Southeast Asia, and I wanted to have basically better maps so I could be a more informed tourist.
And you've obviously done this, as we said, all over the world, but in this specific North Korea project, you found some interesting spots, such as is the satellite site?
So I follow the news, and in a lot of cases, the news will indicate, oh yeah, a satellite's going to be shot off from such and such site. And with a little bit of searching, one can get the geographic name, and then many cases can pull up the coordinates. And then with a little more searching of the detailed satellite imagery, one can find launch pads and all sorts of other things.
Well, and there can be and have been some debates over what gets placed where, and you had some type of conflict with a site you mapped in Syria.
Yeah, so I was looking at some of the Syrian reporting, and it mentioned SAM sites and Syrian chemical weapons, reported Syrian chemical weapons areas and so on. So I started mapping those and got into a bit of a conflict with somebody that didn't want me to map those, and ended up essentially denying my edits, even though in a lot of cases it was pretty clear that there was, say, a missile someplace.
How confident do you think people should be about these maps? Take the North Korea one, for instance. It's a map created almost entirely from folks outside the country. Can we trust what's there?
You know, there's a continuum of credibility. A new mapper doesn't have what's called trust, mapping trust.
Yeah.
And so each feature that's added or changed is held for review.
Richard, thanks so much, and congratulations on the attention coming to this thing that you've been working on so long.
Well, thanks very much for talking to me today.